Whoa. Hmm? Yeah. It's 24th of Feb. This is your crypto news. Let's get amongst it. The markets are down, and that is certainly a sad thing. However, if you are too upset by all of this, I do not believe the cycle top is nowhere near in. You're probably just over leveraged. So do not be over leveraged unless you know what you're doing. But having a quick look, you can see that Bitcoin's coming down. There's a lot of support down like 90,000, 88,000, and Solana's getting beaten up quite extensively. We're down like 40% from a month ago. Now, the 40%, the pump up in Jan was kind of way too hot, but this is a bit brutal for sure. So stay in there. Remember, if you are borrowing against Sol or something like that on Camino, make sure you're not going to be liquidated unless you're happy to be liquidated. Messari isn't giving me much information here. I think it's a bit of a good signal that the markets are kind of boring. So I do have some suggestions moving forward afterwards. Basically, if you haven't been following, there's like tariffs coming, like I believe like 10% on pretty much everything coming in. And this is giving me some uncertainty in the market. And February doesn't do terribly well in traditional stock markets as well. And so when we kind of factor all this in, we essentially need to come in, retest 90, then pump up, and then hit up to 100,000 or so before we start to realize that we're kind of safe. So at present, there's no real signal. Now that doesn't matter too much because Michael Saylor is just going to keep on buying Bitcoin, and he did. He bought some more Bitcoin today, and this here is in reference to Elon Musk's asking every federal employee to tell them what they did in the last week. Publicly traded Hong Kong Asia Holdings Limited approved to buy more Bitcoin. So there's still people buying. There's plenty of people buying, and there will be more companies buying. They will all rotate. Some of the, or at least some of the hype will rotate into our beloved Solana and other tokens. But right now, don't be flushed out. There was a hack for a neobank, which is really such a shame. It's just a reminder that the hackers, you need to have a decent bounty to encourage white hat hackers to actually try and find exploits. And you also have to really monitor security really, really properly. The biggest disappointing thing with this, I think, was not so much the hack itself. It's more the fact that this happened 4:40 a.m. UTC. And they then didn't report on it until like 10:36 a.m. So they took UTC. So they took quite a bit of time to even announce. Whereas with Bybits, they were very, very responsive immediately. It says that, however, all transfers, deposits, withdrawals, and payments remain in normal usage and working status. Now, having a look at the market state visualization, when it's a sea of red, like it's certainly scary. We don't even know, like we are in this period where people believe we have a decent amount of support around this area, but the biggest amount of support for Sol was at 160, and then it kind of dips on down to potentially 120. So you may want to put on a short position if you need to hedge. If you feel that we could go down further, a short position could be in your mind. And if so, you can check out Range of Finance as one potential option. Overall, you can see like ETH is also going down. Like everything's going down. It's just a downward market right now. I mean, hype down here. What did hype down? Oh, what happened? Hype went down. Where did it go? It's down 10%. And they've got a very bullish community. So keep in mind. Fair and Greed's at 49, but on CoinMarketCap, it's at 40. And I definitely feel that we're far more fearful than we are neutral. Nothing much on the Sol calendar. At present, there's potentially a dupe rally call coming tomorrow. So that could be at 3:30 p.m. We can see that on YouTube, but I can't see it in Jupiter Discord. So, what are you going to do here? We are now in the origin of the Trump election pump for Sol, erasing the entire move ahead of the March 1st unlock. People have asked me about this March 1st unlock, which I feel was kind of priced in, meaning, if Sol was around $180, $200, it wasn't going to matter too much. But then we've just had bearish news after bearish news. The Bybit hack, the tariffs. The tariffs, by the way, in my opinion, I'm not a macro expert, But that's a good thing for the US. It's just a necessary thing in order to support its own economy. Australia kind of hurt itself very, very deeply decades ago by having no tariffs. So yes, it will push up prices in a sense, but it's better for the longevity of the US, in my opinion. So we've had that. We've had Trump doing that. We've had the big hack. We've had the $100 million extraction from Hayden Davis and whatnot, which hasn't gone back into the chart, by the way. And now we look at this, and it's scary. It's certainly scary out there. And we've got this other line down here. Some people putting down bids at like 115, 120. And on top of that, I didn't cover it necessarily today, but just as a bit of a side view, Wintermute is withdrawing money out of Binance, apparently, and other market makers, and sometimes they can flush out the leverage. So if they can liquidate down here, they will do that in order to generate fees. This is what those companies do, in my opinion, and that's a conspiracy which many believe, but it's not proven ultimately. Now, if you're looking at your precious dupe or another token that you're very, very fond of, and you're seeing that it's not doing well, in general, the altcoin market is not doing well at all. This is why ultimately, in my opinion, a token needs to have buyback pressure. Even down here, right at the bottom, you can see Ray. I don't think it's fair of noon to say Orca and Ray, these all-time highs, because they were a previous cycle. But Ray's all-time high this cycle, maybe like $9, something like that, maybe $10. It's still suffering, and we'll cover that shortly. Regardless, like, Solana's where the vast majority of my attention always will be. And if I talk about other networks, I'm still very much mostly a Sol maxi, but I feel that the more people I can just reach without too much tribalism, the better it is for just teaching people stuff. So we're starting to see money move back into Solana. Of course, there's still Solana moving money out, but attraction is coming our way. There's still opportunities on Base, Sonic, and Berachain, and Arbitrum in the form of Hyperliquid if you're into that kind of thing. Now with Dupe, the Dupe price has kind of bumped up a little bit. It went down like 60-something cents. It's now up to in the 70 cents, while Sol's going lower and lower. And remember, there's a massive amount of money there ready to buy back the token. So hopefully we find out about all this sometime, maybe tomorrow, about this. And apparently there's some more DAO votes. Because remember, there's supposed to be like 8 votes in the coming weeks. Maybe like 2 a week, maybe 1 a week. Who knows? We'll see. There's also an update from Good Cats. Good Cats was a program. It is a program for those that have been helping Jupiter in some capacity. They could put in an application. The application's already closed, but they have a very fantastic, it's a very good review process. So if you didn't do it this year, just if there's a community that you want to support them. And if they look after you in this kind of way, that is a fantastic thing. And I'm also suggesting other projects kind of use this. This is where Cato and these sort of things kind of are supposed to look after you in a sense as well. However, you know, sometimes manually checking that stuff is better than just an algorithm checking stuff. Either way, have a read through there if you actually put in an application. And if you did things wrong, just keep in mind what you have to do better for next time or for other projects. You want to provide value to projects. Also, if you won from Cat Symbol, like a content cost contest, winner's got a DM. Some people wait not to answer. You have to reply back. Check your Twitter DMs. Go into the messages, find it, and reply back. Otherwise, they're going to redraw. Anatoly has changed his profile picture to Hermans, the Hermans. Now, I have one of these. I've never sold it. I did it just to support one of the founders there. And I hear kind of good things about them, but I haven't had the time to play in it. The floor price has pumped, which means if you've got a couple of options here. You could sell at these levels if you haven't been in profit for some time. Or you could see that there's a little bit of temporary hype, but you could wait for the price to maybe come back down and then check out the actual Discord and community. I hear it is pretty worthwhile. Now, Ray is the latest token to fall victim to Pump.Fun. I say that in a way that Pump.Fun has the most incredible product market fit. So they can eat anyone alive. And the rumor is that they're starting their own automated market maker, which means that all the volume, all the liquidity pools will not go through Radium, which means that, unfortunately, what's going to happen is the Radium price will lose value unless they can find another way to keep those fees kind of pumping. It may take a few months. I'm not entirely sure on this, but it did make sense that Pump.Fun would do this, because otherwise, they can capture this value themselves. They could be making $1 billion a year, $100 million in a bear market, potentially. One thing to keep in mind is if they are using a new system, maybe they're finding a way where they can lock the liquidity. But in an ideal scene, in my opinion, they would take the SOL, rebuy the token in the pool in a smart contract, and then take the tokens burnt, take the tokens that have been bought back, and the smart contract would burn them, and that also burn the tokens received from trading fees, but no one would have access to it. You may have like a system where a creator gets a tiny bit, or maybe Pump.Fun gets a tiny bit, but in an ideal scene, there would be just a network effect, a flywheel. If you go to amm.pump.fun, you can see the first stages here, but there's nothing like this. Is very, very primitive. And for some reason, they don't even have backpack wallet here. So it's a little bit, it's okay. It's new, but it's just a threat. That's the basic kind of gist. Latest update, Bybit has already fully closed the ETH gap. New audited report will be published very soon to show that Bybit is again back to 100%. So, I mean, they've received loans, is what I was kind of understanding it, as loans, whatever. But now it's actually saying that they're back to 100%. So maybe they did some OTC deals or gave out some equity for OTC ETH, something like that. Either way, good work to them. They have been the most transparent after an exploit ever. And there's also some money that's been frozen by the people using this on-chain. $42 million out of 1.4 billion, not a big deal, but still a worthwhile effort. Also, the exploiter also sent some money that launched a token, which has seen a whole lot of trading volume on Pump.Fun. Now, remember, this is a permissionless system. This was removed. The actual thing was removed from the UI that connected to Lily. As part of like Solana Foundation, I think, or maybe not. Or maybe not anymore, but connected to Lily, connected to Pump.Fun, and then they managed to remove it from the actual UI. But of course, it's a permissionless blockchain. It still exists. It's not like Sony's blockchain where they can actually just delete a token, which is not a good thing. Now, let's talk about the upcoming potential Kanye token rug, because I don't want to cover it extensively. I want to put it on people's radar. They may be able to profit from it. Like, he's coming out with the nastiest things against Jewish people and just a whole lot of hate. He's just, I don't know what's going on, and I don't want to get into the politics of it because it's not, we're talking about crypto here. Now, one thing is, this apparently the evidence is pointing that this dude here basically has extracted over $100 million of value out of the cryptocurrency space and has bought Kanye West's account or access for $17 million to launch a token. And there's a few things that you'll see on this, but I really feel that this is going to be a brutal thing. If you're thinking of doing it, and I imagine it's going to be within the next week, we'll have to see. If you're thinking of getting in, just be mindful, like a small amount. You may, if it's on Solana, which it should be, you're probably going to be okay, maybe better off to DLMM it a little bit, because I think they've done this in a way that I just don't think it's gonna profit them and only them, and most people get wrecked other than some snipers. And even still, there could be some snipers bidding it up for 20 minutes, and then you get in at the crazy market cap. So keep in mind, like a market cap valuation. If Kanye's token goes up to like over 2 billion, I don't think it's going to go much further, to be honest. Who knows? Time.Fun is launching today, by the way. This I have signed up to, and so when it goes live, you can book time with me if you want to. I want to see how it goes. I reckon it's really cool. It's not a create a meme coin, which goes to zero. It's created time tokens. And these are ZK compression tokens somehow. So I'll cover it once it's live, but just letting you know that it says tomorrow time.fund goes live. We'll give this a refresh in case it's already gone live since I've pulled open this tab, but I don't think it has yet. It will be going live today. Now, if you want to use some of your crypto to go and buy like gift vouchers or MasterCards or those sort of things, MasterCard like prepaid things, this is not sponsored. Nothing is sponsored, by the way. But Bitrefill does have a quest on. There's some prizes for DGods, and a gift card. It's not just by buying stuff, but it is a good platform to go and buy that sort of stuff. Because some people just want to just stay on chain, right? Like when I put money off, I put it to Cast card, and I just go and spend it with my Cast card. Seb Monty is my referral. Go check out Cast card as well. But click on this, do the Galaxy quest if you like, and then maybe you'll win something of value. Now, Camino, which I'm very, very bullish on and have been since the very beginning, haven't spoken about them much at present, but just because I've just been busy on many other things. But they now have a new audit, a formal verification by Certora. So they do the same audits and formal verification for, like, they've done it with Aave, Uniswap, Lido, Eigenlayer, Solana, and more. So this is like a big dog audit company. And you know what's so cool about Camino is they have been incident-free since they launched. No smart contract vulnerabilities and no bad debt. Bad debt means that someone gets liquidated, but it falls too fast that the protocol has to absorb the loss, and then it gets socialized. So that happens a little bit on Drift, and it happens with other places, but because of their risk model here, it hasn't happened with Camino. So big congrats to them. Now, what are you actually supposed to do in these volatile markets? Because like you can't, like, it's very difficult to trade it. There's no like clear signals at present. I honestly think the best thing is just to have fun. I want to start just having fun again. I just want to have fun. I want to try new things and just have fun. That's better. I think some sort of basic trading, sell Sol when it gets low. Sorry, sell Sol when it gets high, buy it when it gets low. Maybe some other tokens, do some DeFi farming, all that sort of stuff. But for real, just go and play on a whole different number of blockchains. Monad testnet is live. Check it out. You can use Backpack, Phantom, or MetaMask. I just use MetaMask, but you can use whatever you like, and just go have a play. I think it'd be, it's fun. Even though Solana's where I want to play, Monad will be pretty cool, and there'll be stuff building over there, which maybe a builder sees it and they try and make something similar on Solana and find more product market fit. Now, it's not all working perfectly over there, though. So like this one here looks very, very cool. Monad Fantasy login, but you can go and register, but it's not actually giving you test tokens right now. But still, play amongst it. Another thing to keep in mind is in your Solflare wallet, you see the final prize is live. Spin for a chance to win 100 Sol. You have to go and get your tokens that you can either pay for or whatever. Once again, nothing sponsored. This is just, I think it's cool. Spin and win. These ones, I'm part of Orphans, which big fan of Orphans. Don't know how many I've got. You press this, you get your tokens. I've covered it before, and then you come up to the top. You enter this. It does cost a small amount. You add your spin tokens, how many you have. Click on this. Well, I'm just waiting for a few things to go through. And then you press a spin. It costs like $1 or less in Sol. Let's try this. Press a spin. What does it cost? 63 cents. And then maybe you win a Clanosaur. Maybe you win one of these NFTs. There's a Clano there. There's a DJ Ape, whatever. Plus, at the end, there's a big raffle for all the entries. Maybe you win 100 Sol. I think we'd all love 100 Sol. So check that out. It's easy to use. This is 5,000 Yes tokens, whatever. Now, the last thing I want to end with is just another bit of an actionable. So we've got a couple of actionables in here. Just are there any decent DLMMing opportunities right now for something with higher fees? And I would say not really. In an ideal world, I would like to see something like over 600,000 in the 1 hour. Maybe $1 million would be really, really nice. GFM is jumping up. If we had a look at this, and if we kind of zoomed out, and if we saw that it was a nice trend that wasn't breaking down, could be worthwhile. But this looks like it's breaking down. So I would say no to that one. And Unicorn Fart Dust, have a look here, also breaking down. Typically, DLMMing is not fun unless you've got like a lot of skill and you're just glued to it. It's still not even fun, to be honest, if BTC is going down and Sol's going down. So I'm just pointing out that, it's not very fun. PEP, I've been enjoying the realms of PEP for quite some time, and now this is starting to break down, and that's just what happens. Like there's no one coming in to save the trenches, to be perfectly honest. There was one token that launched up, but it was very short-lived. And this is the thing, like this had $1 million of liquidity, $1 million worth of trading, and now it's down to 26,000, and in 5 minutes it's 654. So those are just some things to consider. We're going to end it here. Thanks very much for tuning in. One question here. Am I still doing the 10K to 100K challenge? I was doing it in one particular method, and it just wasn't working based on, like, I was trying to do it in a way of buy a token which is valuable, like Camino, and hold it for a longer term. But it turns out that this cycle is going to be far more harder than the previous. And so we're going to have to buy, sell, buy, sell. You can copy when I start to get back into that, but DLMMing will be the biggest thing that I'll be covering. That's all. I'll be back and streaming each day until Sol's over $250, and I'll try and get more and more tutorials out as well. We could do live stream tutorials as well as just daily news. Thanks very much for watching. Catch you in the next video.
Whoa.